The forest of Eridara was alive with 1,000 whispers. Vast canopies of violet leaves hung like silken curtains, and bioluminescent spores drifted lazily in the night air, glowing like scattered stars against the darkness. But through the serenity came the sound of a body stumbling, collapsing. An alien girl, battered and hunted, fell to her knees upon the moss-carpeted ground. Her name was Lysera. Her skin carried a faint emerald hue, shimmering faintly under the moonlight. Her long, silver hair was tangled with dirt and blood, and her luminescent eyes flickered with fading strength. She pressed her hand against her side, where the plasma blast had burned through her armor, searing flesh beneath. She had been part of the resistance, a desperate attempt by her people to repel the Dominion, the vast interstellar force that enslaved entire species in its wake. Tonight's mission had been sabotage, but the Dominion's hunters were relentless. They cut down her squad one by one. Lysera, the youngest and most reckless, had run. She tried to reach the forest, to disappear into its depths, but pain had caught up with her. And now, as she crumpled against the roots of an ancient tree, she thought she was done. Her vision blurred. The alien girl's chest rose and fell raggedly, her consciousness slipping away. The spores around her glowed brighter, as if in mourning. The last thing she heard was the soft crunch of boots on moss. The human. When Lysera woke again, it was not in the hands of the Dominion. Instead, she found herself lying on a rough but warm cot inside a wooden cabin. A dim lantern flickered in the corner. The scent of herbal paste lingered in the air. She groaned and tried to rise, but a steady hand pressed her gently back down. "Easy. You're not healed yet." Her luminous eyes shot open. Hovering over her was not another alien, not one of her people, not even a Dominion soldier. It was a human. He was tall, with sun-browned skin and dark hair cut short. His clothes were simple, rugged, boots caked with dirt, a heavy jacket worn with years of use. His eyes, though, caught her attention. Watchful. And above all, kind. Lysera's breath hitched. Her people had spoken of humans, new arrivals to the galactic stage. Dominion intelligence claimed they were primitive, still fragmented by nations and wars, not yet unified under a galactic banner. Supposedly weak, supposedly ignorant. And yet, here was one, tending her wounds. Why help me?" she rasped, her voice dry. The human gave a small shrug. "Because you were dying out there. Doesn't matter who or what you are." He lifted a small bowl. "Drink. It'll help." Suspicion warred with desperation inside her. She took the bowl with trembling fingers, sipped, and felt warmth spread down her throat. "My name's Ethan," he said simply. "And you?" She hesitated. In her culture, names carried weight, trust. But something about his tone disarmed her. "Lysera." Ethan gave a small smile. "Lysera. That's a good name." The cabin in the wilds. Over the following days, Ethan nursed her back to health. He used herbs and poultices grown around the cabin, explaining how he'd come to this world as part of a small human settlement. When the Dominion swept through, most of the humans had either been captured or fled. Ethan stayed behind, living in the wilds, avoiding patrols, surviving off the land. Lysera's wounds healed slowly, but during her recovery, she grew curious about him. Humans were supposed to be fragile, yet he lived here alone, in defiance of the Dominion's occupation. He spoke of hunting, building, and learning the land like it was second nature. She realized there was a stubborn resilience in him, a refusal to bow. One night, as the storm winds howled outside, Lysera asked him, "Why didn't you run like the others?" Ethan stirred the fire. His face was half lit by the glow. "Because running means giving them everything. My home, my life, my freedom. Maybe I can't fight them head-on, but I can still choose not to kneel." His words struck her deeper than he knew. Her people had knelt before. Generations enslaved before some dared rise. She too had almost given in to despair. But this human, this solitary human, stood unbroken. The hunter's return. Lysira's peace was short-lived. One morning, while gathering water from the stream, she froze. The air shifted. The forest grew still. Then she heard it, the sharp hum of Dominion scouts. She rushed back to the cabin. Ethan was already there, rifle in hand, his expression grim. "They've found us," he said simply. Lysira's heart pounded. "We have to run." He shook his head. "No. If we run, they'll hunt us until we collapse. Like they did to you." He checked his weapon, then glanced at her. "Can you fight?" Her eyes narrowed. Despite the lingering pain, her warrior's spirit flared. "I can fight." The hunters came at dusk. 3 armored Dominion soldiers, their visors glowing crimson. They swept through the forest like shadows, weapons drawn. But Ethan knew the terrain. He'd laid traps. Simple snares, pits, deadfalls. Primitive, yes, but effective. The first hunter fell into a concealed pit, his armor cracking under the impact. The second triggered a spike trap, shrieking as steel pierced his side. The third pressed forward, only to meet Lysira. Her blade, forged from her people's alloys, clashed with the soldier's plasma pike. She moved with renewed vigor, her wound forgotten in the heat of battle. But the soldier was stronger, his armor thick. Just as he raised his weapon for the killing blow, a rifle cracked. Ethan's shot pierced through the visor. The soldier fell lifeless. Breathing hard, Lysira looked at Ethan. He gave a small nod, as if it were nothing. But she knew it was everything. The bond. In the days that followed, their bond deepened. Lysira shared stories of her people, of the resistance and the long centuries of oppression. Ethan listened quietly, never mocking, never dismissing. In turn, he spoke of Earth, of oceans and mountains, of music and laughter, of wars and hopes. "You humans," she said one evening, as they sat under the glowing canopy of Eridara's trees. "You are strange, weak yet strong, fearful yet fearless." Ethan chuckled. "We're complicated, but we endure." She looked at him then, truly looked. And for the first time since her squad had been slaughtered, she felt a spark of hope. Perhaps there was strength not just in armies or weapons, but in the stubborn will of individuals. In people like Ethan. The last stand. Hope, however, could not shield them forever. Weeks later, a full Dominion patrol discovered the cabin. Dozens of soldiers, armored and armed, descended upon the forest. Ethan and Lysira prepared for the inevitable. Traps were laid. Weapons readied. But both knew they couldn't win this fight. Not alone. As the soldiers advanced, Ethan turned to her. "If we don't make it, at least you'll know someone stood with you." Her throat tightened. "Do not say that. We fight together." The battle was fierce. Explosions lit the night. Fire consumed the forest. Lysira fought like a storm, her blade carving through armor. Ethan's rifle barked, shot after shot finding its mark. But the Dominion's numbers pressed harder, relentless. At last, Lysira staggered, her energy waning. A soldier raised his pike to strike her down. Ethan hurled himself forward, shielding her with his own body. The blade pierced his side. "Ethan!" she cried, catching him as he fell. Rage burned through her veins.